Hey everyone, this is Ricardo, part of this is not my stuff. This is the CBC doing the spoiler cast for Wakanda Forever. 10 out of 10 film, right? Right?
Yeah.
All right. So, we got Mitch today. And we got.
See, I'm not used to the pause when you're calling the names out. Yeah, you can find me on the link trees, the socials, the hives, because everyone's leaving Twitter.
Yeah, Hive is good.
Hive is now apparently the new thing. Not that I've actually really used it, but it's Hive. You need to fix your app; it doesn't work on Android properly. So yeah.
And then we got the homie Tristan.
Yeah, same thing. Linktree. You can catch me on a bunch of social platforms. Oddly enough, not on Hive yet because they're getting too many users that are signing up, and it's causing some issues, especially with that one glitch where your username is not unique, and there was a time where anyone could steal your name and start.
I'm not gonna lie, Tristan. Didn't they? I feel like they stole your name like in every platform.
Well, no, most of the time it depends on what it is, because I have actually checked on certain things. Sometimes it's not taken, other times it is. But on Hive, apparently, multiple people were asking Hive to fix the issue, because they're like, if you typed in the username, multiple people with the same username would come up for a certain amount of time due to a glitch with a high user install base happening because of everything was going on with Twitter, which is interesting and funny at the same time.
Yeah, Twitter's getting put down. It's kind of wild.
It is pretty wild to see. But you know what else was wild to see? Namor on the big screen. Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry, I got to do it now. It's Namor, not Namor.
Oh yeah, the sexier version, right?
The slightly French sounding.
That part is interesting to me, because with the whole changing of this whole backstory of Namor, because originally that is how you pronounced his name for multiple writers and artists. From the movies, they changed it to Namor, where they give it an accent because of the background to him. And speaking on him as a whole, it's interesting because people didn't catch on it. This retroactively makes him the first mutant, because from his mutation, he has a very extended life, because he's been around since the 1600s. So.
Is that when did they date that in the movie? Because
he said that he was born around the 16th century.
Yeah.
Oh damn! Wow.
I'm
going to apologize right now. I've seen this once the day it came out, and it's been hectic since. So I'm gonna.
I mean, I've only seen it once, but there's things that I do know about, and I just have to get my memory jogged to continue the conversation.
So while I help you guys jog your memory, so we could start off with the opening. Beautiful opening, pretty, but also like, how did you guys feel when it came to like when Shuri had to like try to save her brother and whatnot? Not the usual tone of here's the Marvel logo.
I don't know, Mitch, but me personally, it was okay, but it was a little on the nose with the illness that he had. That's part of it, which was like, ooh, they could have chosen something else, but I guess they're gonna go with this.
I think part of me. I say part of me. I didn't. Like, it's on the nose. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. The family would have signed off on everything here, and I think to
Agreed.
have it as anything else would have been a bit not disingenuous, but it would have been, because you would have had everyone being like, "Well, why did T'Challa die of this when Boseman died of that?" And it's just like,
I mean, in the greater context of things, you would basically ask, "Oh, why did T'Challa die at all?" Because how they framed the metal is that it's a cure-all; it can cure anything. And then they had to.
That's true, isn't it? Yeah. But I suppose you can. It's a it's a fictional universe.
Yeah, I know.
We've had Marvel died of cancer in the 80s, and it's just like, well, how did he die? I know. I liked it. I can't remember if they actually said it this way, but it goes in line with how we lost Chad, right?
Yeah, they didn't really say it
out of the
was
blue
cancer,
and suddenly,
yeah.
and it's like yeah. I like the. Oh, I can't think how to phrase it. The I suppose the theming around it, where it's you can lose anyone at any point. You time's up, your time's up. Sometimes you can do things about it, sometimes you can't. This is just one of those situations where she couldn't and no one else could. So I can appreciate for that. Yeah, slightly on the nose, but it didn't take away from me. So.
And after that scene, we get the beautiful, little.
What did you think, Ricardo, of it? You haven't said. What did you think of that opening?
Oh, I look, man. I'm about to just end up praising the whole movie, so I don't know.
I mean, there weren't a lot wrong with it. I'm going to say it right now. It was not. I have not got a lot to nitpick for this movie.
With my thoughts regarding like the whole like intro of the thing, like it was pretty emotional. Like the film was just emotional off the bat, because it's like because if you watch a lot of Angela Bassett films, once you see her come out, you was like, damn, he's gone. I was like, ugh, crap. So, but I thought everything was like Angela Bassett killed it. I thought Letitia Wright did fantastic in that opener. I was like,
yeah,
so good. Like if there's anything I would like to point out regarding like Letitia Wright's acting, it's definitely in the high end of things. Like she's very incredible. I have to give her her flowers regarding that.
I would say everyone brought their A game to this one. You
Yeah,
could
like
tell
everybody.
there was, like, the blood, sweat, and tears in this movie. You're like, all right, yeah, cool.
All right. So then after that, we jump into the beautiful Marvel intro logo, which was a whole tribute to Chadwick Boseman. The theater was.
I was going to say this was
quiet.
a Boseman tribute, wasn't it? I'm just trying to remember it.
Yeah, it was completely just Chadwick Boseman all over the Marvel logo. No sound or anything. All you heard was sniffles in the theaters. I was like, like, bro, you could drop a pin. You could drop a pin in that theater, and you probably hear the pin with how quiet it was. Like what this movie does, like it has a lot of quiet scenes. And
stuff
everybody
gets to
has
rest.
the exact same thought. Sorry, you said?
What's that?
No, I'm saying what you said.
I was saying stuff gets time to rest and actually sink in. Like you get time to sit and chew on everything in this, which you should be able to. This thing's nearly 3 hours long, which I don't think it felt 3 hours long, but that's just me.
No, I saw it. Was it in the evening? So I definitely felt it when I got out.
See, I saw it about. I think I got in there about 3:30 in the afternoon for me. So where it gets dark at 4, I had that transition of it's daylight, it's nighttime, and it threw me the hell off. But yeah, it didn't feel like 3 hours.
After that, there's a 1-year time skip. You have Letitia Wright, Shuri, over here still trying to, she's depressed. She's over here in her science room building stuff, And Angela Bassett was like, "Please get out the house. What are you doing?
You're not
over here
grounded.
building
Go,
stuff."
leave, socialize, do something, please.
Right? Like she was like, "Come on, do something." You're like, you're over here doing all this stuff, building suits of armor. It's like, come on. Are you Iron Man? Are you Ironheart? Like, what's the plot? Who's Ironheart?
I mean, the whole point behind that is because they don't have the Flowers anymore. So they had to come up with something else to protect Wakanda with, and that was the best thing she could come up with is Iron Man suits.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like that's a little joke that like the mom, the queen herself, Ramonda, she wants her to get the heck out the room. Wait, but I feel like actually before that scene, we found out the French is a bunch of dirty liars. During the
I mean,
courtroom scene.
speaking as a European, we've known that for centuries. No, it's...
Bro, they still owe me my reparations.
The French will stab your country in the back and then let someone else get independence. But yes,
Well, you know, like the complaint that they don't have any of the precious metal and they're just trying to steal it at the same time.
yeah.
Like the whole Ramonda, Queen Ramonda's like scene in that courtroom. Angela Bassett, let me get an Oscar today.
I was gonna say, just give the woman the award already. Come on.
With all the years she has been in Hollywood and still have not gotten an Oscar is utterly insane. And if you don't get nominated now,
I said she hasn't, has she? Wow.
No, you can search it up. She has not, after all the movies she has been in, she has not have one Oscar.
That's a crime.
That's what I'm saying. And if you don't get nominated and or get an Oscar for this, that's utterly insane. That's insane. Because that whole room when she was saying like, I lost my whole family. She was like, the white people trying to steal our metal. Like, what's happening? And then you see like Okoye and the doors.
Wasn't that courtroom scene after Shuri goes to Talokan?
No. It jumps from like the 1 year time skip, the courtroom scene where she was talking about, we have no Black Panther, but we have the Dora Milaje protecting Wakanda. Then it jumps to her going to Wakanda to be like, Shuri, what are you doing? Help build some. Like you could go out. Cause that's when Okoye be like, she could come outside with me.
Yeah, and they go get Riri. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that whole courtroom scene is very powerful. I love the emotions that came out for it.
It is powerful and it is funny at that one part where like she just says that we know what you say behind each other's backs.
Yeah. It's like we don't speak other languages. Come on now.
I mean, it's got to take some brass bullocks to actually do that to Wakanda, right?
Yeah.
After everything the world's seen of that city, like, why would you even think about it? So, they've lost one person. Like, cool, they're open now.
It was like, there's no Black Panther. It was like, there's no other warriors in Wakanda. I'm pretty sure everybody saw the Endgame footage. They saw who superheroes and whatnot was there. Didn't they watch the portal scene like everybody else? Come on.
I was going to say, I think the public know more about what happened in that fight than the actual people in that fight do.
Didn't Miss Marvel try to help them out? Like, she didn't write, like, look, this is what happened.
Here's a full detailed breakdown.
Oh, man. And so, since we already talked about the Shuri scene, we have Okoye and Shuri heading to, I believe, Chicago, Michigan to get Riri Williams. Was it Chicago?
I assume it's Chicago, because that's where she's from in the comics, isn't it?
Oh, sorry. Well, you said Siri wanted to talk in my background.
I say, because isn't Riri from the comics in Chicago?
Because I saw the Chicago Bull sign or whatever. I'm just trying to remember if that college was also in Chicago, Michigan.
No, it's Massachusetts.
Oh, she was in Massachusetts. Okay, good. Thanks for double checking. So they went to go see Riri, pick her up because we found out she's the one who built this magnificent technology to find a Talokan.
Yeah, this bit was a bit.
It's what people were saying that there's not a lot to feel like something was off or kind of wrong here, but in this instance, it was like Riri was just a plot device to move everything along because she didn't really do anything.
Yeah. I thought they did well with her character. Like, I liked how they have what's her name? Dominic Thorne.
Mm-hmm.
Dominic Thorne. I think she is. I'm bad with names. People should know it by now. But no, I thought she'd do great with that character. So I'm happy she's here and how she portrayed it. But she definitely could have had a little bit more to do.
Yeah.
And someone needs to tell her like her design choices is not the one.
Don't worry, that's why you got the Ironheart series, my boy.
She needs to
I mean, she
take graphic
was
design.
she was just reverse engineering a lot of stuff. And it took her
She
years.
is, but looking like RC from Transformers is not the
Whoa.
Well, if you're talking about the end, the end movies.
Yeah, I was talking about the Mark II one. Yeah.
Well, then you can blame Shuri for that because she helped with designs. That's why they took it away.
It's just like 80% of that suit at the end is decent. The other 20% just brings it right down. That's neither here nor there.
But yeah, the one thing I do like about that is when they're in her garage, because she does shadow. She builds the shadow experiments for other students, so she can get her money. And it's pretty funny how she always has to tell them to pay up because of what grade they got because of her.
That sounds like real life. I love that.
And the one part like I remember is in my theater, people cracked up when they were in her room and they were arguing, and like Riri commented saying,
talk about Koei's makeup.
It wasn't Koei's makeup. And she said that she was like bald and ashy.
So she got an ashy head or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she put on like the round foundation of Fenty. She gave a shout out to Rihanna.
Yeah, it was fun. That part was just funny. People were laughing at that hard. Yeah, but seeing I'm trying to remember some of her background. I do remember. I'm not so sure when she was talking about it, but they technically did keep some of the original background from what Bendis did when she first appeared, which a lot of people didn't like. It was like just an offhanded comment about her doing stuff out of pettiness just because it's boring.
Yeah.
That was.
I can remember that from Bendis's run.
Yeah, that was in the movie. I can't try to remember if it was like in a sentence or she said it offhandedly. But that's one thing I was like, he didn't really need that because
no,
like,
but
she's good.
It's a slightly different because
she's good on her own. Like you didn't need to have that. The only reason she's like on this path is because things are boring and she just wants to be petty just to show someone she can do it when people know that she can do it. That was like my only gripe about that, but it was just like to me it's like they didn't need to put that in there.
Yeah, but it gives you a nice little character arc, doesn't it? You can take it from A to B, a bit like Stark, and kind of mirror his arc a little bit.
I guess.
Yeah, because when I saw the film, like I saw it the second time, I saw it in the Bronx, right? When she said that line, I heard the women like, "Yeah, girl," like so. I mean, it's a way.
I mean, for the casual audience, it's like they would, but in the context,
even I do stuff out of pettiness.
No, I mean, no, in the context, in the context of it, like in her original, like when she first appeared in the comics, which was it's calling back to is that it wasn't out of like actual pettiness. Her teacher said that she can do anything, and she said that's boring. I want adversity, and then they said, "Fine, you can't do it. Watch me." That's literally what happened, and that's what the callback was. Is that her teacher said that she can do whatever she wants, but that's boring to her. She wants adversity, and then that's where the two and two go together. Is where she just said the teacher said, even though you can do whatever you want, you can't do it, and that's not that type of pettiness. It's just like, oh, I need something. I need toxicity to achieve what I want to achieve, and I'm like, really?
I wonder if I'm trying to think how to phrase this because it could go horribly wrong, and if it does, I'm going to apologize now. But isn't there like a part of like ADHD or autism that can be like that? Like some now. like some part of the spec. Like I'm trying to think how to word it, but I wonder if they could take it down that sort of road.
Oh, with her series?
Yeah.
Maybe yes. That's all. I'm just trying to give like context to the reason why it like technically it didn't need to be there. And for people who love being petty, like that's not the type of pettiness that it was born.
Yeah, but
from.
you could say like it's not actually being petty. There is a reason why. Like the brain isn't wired like everything else. It works in this sort of way. Like she's not actually doing
It's
it
just
out. Like,
I know. It's just that's like if you know the context behind it, that's like you don't need. That's like one part of her origin that they didn't need to reference because it's not portrayed as what the casual audience would think it is. Is like the basis is that she doesn't want to do anything because it's boring if people tell her that she can't do it. She wants someone to tell her she can't, so she'll spite them for no apparent reason when someone said that she could do it. But that's just as I was only like nitpick right there. But her overall is actually pretty good. Though the only thing
I enjoyed that character in this.
Yeah, the only thing weird for me is that they made her 19 because like she was 15 going to college.
Bro, a lot of the stuff in the film is not like the comic. Come on now.
I say also like every young Avenger, bar so far, I think America
like in their colleges
is like older than they should be. Yeah.
Well, no, they're all over the place. Like certain people are actually teenagers, and other ones are like already adults. So it's like,
especially now if Marvel is continuing to follow the years. Everybody's about to be in their 30s. Are they still the young Avengers? Who knows?
Well, a couple.
They ain't gonna use. Let's be honest. They're not gonna.
They're about to call themselves the new Avengers.
At this point, they'd be called the new Avengers.
Yeah. Right. We have like an Avengers Academy. Mark my words. That's gonna be the thing.
But before we continue to all this, because we were talking about the Black Queens of this film, so let's give some love to the Talokans with their introduction before it led into the whole Riri Williams stuff. Was when they first appeared and started attacking the military when they were trying to get the vibranium in the water. That was a great introduction. When you had everybody just singing, that was a horror movie, bro.
I really liked the whole siren angle that they had for that. I thought that's a fantastic little touch. I like that.
Yeah. Sorry. What you said, Tristan?
I didn't say anything yet.
Oh, sorry. But yeah, because when I was hearing that siren thing, I couldn't tell for some reason. It's like my brain was like, wait a minute, I don't know if this sound is coming from the movie at first. And I was like, or it's like, am I slowly dying? I was like, because it was like so low. I was like, is that me or the movie? And it starts to get louder. I was like, okay, all right. I was like, I get it now. This is really cool. And like the introduction of the Talokans when they were like attacking the military, especially, I don't remember. Do you guys remember the big guy's name? I don't remember his name. The one.
Oh, Christ!
I only know Namora because
she doesn't even get named in this movie, does she, Namora?
I don't think so.
Really?
No, I don't think she does. She has like 2 lines and then she's out. I can't think what that guy's name is.
Because I know they probably said his name, but it's whatever. I thought his when he first came out to the water and threw that spear, yeah, badass. Just overall like amazing. And then what was great about it, because when they were trying to escape that boat, you saw in the helicopter, and you saw Namor already like spinning the thing with the damn on the helicopter just to throw in the water so hard. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's especially it's interesting because it's like a lot. They changed a lot from, because I know I've been seeing people asking, can they like all do this and stuff like that, and I'm trying to see, and they a couple of changes is like, especially when Namor, going a little further, is like when Namor is giving his I guess background on his people, on how they changed, instead of them being people from the sea, I think it's mermantis is the scientific term that they made. They were actually humans that I think was that they found, or they got the same type of flower from the vibranium and took that, and then they technically mutated over time so that they couldn't breathe oxygen through the air. They had to do it through the water, and that's what caused their skins to change color. If they're on land, they're blue. If they're in the sea, they're regular color. But
they were so subtle with that. I was actually got to a point where I didn't notice it until you seen the Mora sticking out. It's like her head's one color and her body's the other. What was going on?
And
like, what are they doing now?
They explained it they explained it during like Namor's backstory. Yeah. But he was like, like our people need the water for it to oxidize and all this other stuff. But he was like, I'm built different.
And it's a tumor, by the way.
Yeah,
the big guy with the shark head.
Yeah, and then it was interesting how they changed it because in the comics there are, I think they are where his people are, they're Atlanteans, and they were just born that way. So they stay as a blue or whatever color they are all the time except for Namor.
Isn't the whole Atlantis thing in the comics because of the deviants? You had like Lemuria, and they're all descendants from that.
Yeah, they played that off, and then that's when it's like, oh, it's not just Atlantis. There's there's underwater seas all over the earth. So it's just one part that he's a king of, not the whole ocean. And
we also found out recently we got robbed of Namor in Eternals. It was supposed to be referenced in that, so I'm sad.
What?
Yeah, they confirmed it's supposed to be in the like post-credit scene or something.
Yeah, and then it's like I know people were complaining, but it's not really so much of a complaint. Where Namor's ethnic background didn't really play in technically any pretense to his origin, because that's just how the artist drew him. He wasn't made to be Asian in any sense.
Yeah.
It was just this is how they drew him. And for the World War II comics that he was starring in at the time, that was just a happy accident that they took advantage of for the wrong reasons. So I don't know. I'm okay with the ethnic change because it didn't really it wasn't like it's essential to Namor's background. The only thing that they changed also with it is that with the original comic, his dad was a human, and in this one, his mom was still human while she still had him, and he mutated because they forced her to take the flower, and that's how he got his powers. So it's an interesting change for Namor in this, and I'm not
already born with the wing feet and all. I was like, wow, that's a cool way.
But the thing about it is, like, he had multiple mutations instead of just the one, which was the wing feet. He had multiple.
That's what makes him cool. It made him a broken mutant.
It's like he had super strength, speed. He could fly because of the wings, and breathe on land and in water, unlike everybody else.
And he's hot. Come on now.
Yeah, but they photoshopped his package out, so
they had to stop him, man. They had to stop. He was.
That's the downside to his mutation, right? He's got the winged feet, but he ain't got nothing else. So.
Oh man.
He's aerodynamic now. It's all good.
And the last scene before we skip over of all this is when we see him actually come out the water and be like, and he tells Ramonda and Shuri, like, yo, the waters is great. You guys should never have opened up Wakanda, because now our people kind of suffering, and you guys are starting a little. You guys got to stop this. What are you guys gonna do about it?
I say this just reminded me of something. This scene was dark. There was a lot of scenes in this movie where it was just that there was no light, and I'm like, no, you're expected to see Namor stick his head out the water, and you just can't.
I know what they're going for, because they're they're in the wilds, and it would be starlight, so technically,
I mean, sure, but part of me thinks it's more a cinema thing, at least for mine, because this for me was slightly blurry, like it's been compressed.
So I didn't get that when I was watching it.
Well, to be fair, the screens over here aren't going to be.
Oh, from the 1800s, right?
Not quite the 1800s. It's a fairly new chain of cinemas, right? But it's very. It looked like 720p. Kind
okay. Because
I saw
when I was watching it, it was just dark, but I could see everything.
I'm waiting for Homebrew to judge the color grading on this one. Apart from that, it looked great. So I can't complain.
But yeah, I thought the first introduction between like Namor, Ramonda, and Shuri, I thought it was done really well because it was like it was in the gray lines of like it was peaceful, but like you guys don't want to start anything. Like don't.
Yeah, it was passive aggressive.
Yeah, it was a passive aggressive threat. That's what it was.
Yeah, but like when he came out of
or there could
nowhere,
be problems.
yeah, exactly. It's like, bro, it's like we need you to stop. Like you guys need to find this scientist. Make sure you guys stop finding vibranium because Ramonda was like, man, you guys don't know nothing about vibranium. And then sure, he's like, I was like, hold on, mom. He was like, don't start nothing.
It's funny how like Shuri could spot vibranium and the mother couldn't at first, and it's like it was funny to me because he's wearing it. That's how he knows about vibranium.
Literally dripped in it. God damn.
Yes, it was done so well. All right, so after...
I really like, just before you move on, how Namor in the comics is so over the top dickish.
Yeah.
They kept that same sort of level, but they were subtle with it.
Right?
Like this guy is toxic as all hell, but he's got a charm. He's got the little suave and swagger to him. Like, I trust you, but
the women love him.
They do.
It's
maybe not.
That's the reason why I like Namor did stand out in this movie because they kept the essence of like him being an asshole in the comics, but they changed it just enough so it didn't feel like he was a caricature of what they were trying to emulate.
They want people to actually like the character.
Because there was a bunch of scenes in this movie where he would be like, look, this bracelet is from my mother, like our people is amazing. But if you guys start anything, I'm gonna have to kill you. So I don't know. I thought that was funny. Oh man. So jumping back to finally to the Riri Williams and Shuri and Okoye, they have to run away from the cops after they go to her warehouse. R.I.P. to some of those cops, I think is gonna play a part in her show.
I assume so, right? A lot of this was set up for her Disney Plus series, but
does she get kicked out of college? Like, does she get the Spider-Man treatment? How? Like, who knows? Like,
I mean, she already got the Spider-Man treatment, right? The whole showing up to the apartment thing. It's straight from Homecoming.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if she would get expelled.
That's what I'm trying to know. Is like, do you go back to college? Like, they kind of know you're on some dirty stuff. Is Wakanda gonna be like wipe her slate?
Oh yeah, I think she would get expelled because they would find out what she was doing, which was doing projects for pay, which is a no-no. That's probably why she was getting mad, saying I had this whole job thing figured out until you guys came and ruined everything, and now I have to get rid of my garage and all my projects, burning everything to make sure no one finds out her projects and what she's trying to reverse engineer. But unfortunately, the U.S. does know, and they're waiting for the perfect time to, I guess, have her under lock and key because they need their own science guy again, or science person again, since Tony died. And she is the closest one to that. So that was kind of an interesting take they took the U.S. on, is that they kept tabs on Riri just because she was the closest to become Tony Stark, and they needed ammunition or a dog that they could quote unquote have tabs on, so they won't lose in the superhuman arms race that's happening.
Hold on,
Get ready for Armor Wars.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, what you said, Mitch?
Get ready for Armor Wars.
Oh yeah. And then I was gonna say, I was like, I'm trying to remember. Did she said that she found out how to make Stark's heart on YouTube?
I think she saw that there were like theories that she could cover, among other things that she learned from on her own. because Shuri was asking how did she was she this smart, from the get go, and she's all I just love to tinker, and you'd be surprised at what you can find on YouTube with theories and stuff, and she just took that and went ahead with it.
Wouldn't be surprised if you see Tony Stark's building his suit of armor with a box of scraps on YouTube. Maybe that's how it all began.
I mean, that's what Ryu was doing. She was taking stuff from the junkyard and putting stuff together. Because Shuri is asking her, she built this in 3 months, and she's all a couple years off and on. But to see the achievement that, she took scraps from the junkyard and made an Iron Man suit that's, compatible, and it's able to fly and do damage to things that, fully militarized firms couldn't even replicate, where they were destroying themselves, and the pilots.
Justin Hammer, sort your crap out.
You can see why the U.S. military wanted to get their hands on Riri, because of what she could do.
Yeah, agreed. So after that, they escape from the cops. It was like, oh yeah, explosions, all this other stuff, blah 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 blah. Then they make it to the bridge. What happens? The Talocan has come to get the scientists. And you know what happens after that? Okoye got whooped. Shuri knocked out. Riri is in a coma.
Does Shuri get knocked out?
Yeah, because
Shuri... she gets knocked unconscious. But
she falls off the bike, didn't she? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like the couple seconds before she hit the ground, she made that force field so she wouldn't die.
Yeah.
And then you had Okoye, bro. This is probably one of the best fight scenes in this film. Okoye went full badassery, fighting 5 of the Talocans by herself. And then the big warrior dude was like, "Man, let me show you a little something,"
No, it was that whole fight scene was funny because he got petty with it because he was just getting schooled, and he did a cheap shot and broke her arm.
I don't know if this happened in y'all theaters, but in mine, especially for both of them, it was an audible, when they pulled her to the spear, and you heard the bing, and it was ooh, everybody was oh nah.
No, the only noise I had in my theater were these bunch of teenagers talking next to me.
Oh,
wow!
I just literally honestly, my first time ever telling someone to shut up.
Oh,
and this kid looked like a deer in the headlights. It's I will actually headbutt you if you don't stop talking.
But they this movie is too ethnic for us.
Well, they weren't white. I can tell you now.
Oh no! See, oh no! Don't cancel me.
Yeah, that fight scene was actually pretty good. And with because people were complaining about, I guess, PG-13 not being gruesome enough. And I don't know, seeing someone get their arm broken right there is pretty painful to me, especially seeing what she had to do to fend off 3 of the warriors, which is interesting that even vibranium would only do minimum damage to them. Because from what we've seen, is regular lead bullets will just bounce right off of them, and then vibranium
being
weapon,
under in the water pressure, right? Getting a tough skin.
Yeah, and basically vibranium weaponry can is only you're just cutting them with paper cuts essentially.
Yeah, because even though when you thought they were dead and they stood right back up, I was like, damn. I was like, it's like that.
Honestly, I took that as a regeneration thing. They actually died, and then something just kicked in, and they came back. But
I think it's because of all that water, that water mask, right? You would assume so,
yeah, because when they're out of the water, except for Namor, when they're out of the water, they have to have some liquid to get oxygen, I guess, to keep their powers going. Yeah,
and also breathe, right?
Yeah. I mean, they can hold their breath for a limited amount of time. Because remember, before they kidnapped Riri, that one dude took his water mask off and told her to breathe in.
You're right, yeah, it's true. No, it was a cool fight scene. I wasn't overly hot on any of the fights in this movie. I think I'm trying to. I can't even remember the first movie's action scenes now, apart from the last one. I don't know, something was weird about. I think it might have been the reliance on slow mo. A lot of it
Yeah,
just
I
kept
think that's what I
slowing
think so. It
down.
is because like the highlight for me from the fight scene is the one with M'Baku, which is hilarious with the consequences of after where they're trying to figure out what to do, and it goes, how can we how can we fight that when I think yeah, his name where he said that potentially we're fighting someone who has the strength of the Hulk because his armor was like shattered as soon as he got hit once. That's like literally the only thing, like the only best part, because it was actually pretty funny to me. Other than that, as think I think you're correct in why most of the fights didn't look or wasn't as satisfying because they used a lot of slow mo, more so than
Yeah.
they did from the last movie.
I say it wasn't like bad choreography or anything. It's
Yeah.
just slow mo takes me right out of it. I'm like, oh, really? It always looks weird, but it's fine. It was well. I wasn't here for the action anyway. Everything else surrounding it was so much better than it had any right to be. That the action just can take a backseat. Yeah, it was cool.
All right. So now after this bridge scene, Shuri agreed to go with the Talokan because she was like, "Don't kill Riri. Like, don't do it." She goes underwater. And Okoye goes back to Wakanda, be like, I did promise you that the princess will be safe. But I low-key kind of lied, So I promise I'll bring her back. And Ramonda, everybody in that throne room was like, yeah, you're going to have to go.
I loved this scene. This scene was
that scene,
fantastic.
I'm not gonna lie, I felt hurt too. I was like, damn, I was like, she's family. You're not gonna at least let her come back on, like, bring the princess back. She could be fired, but
I say it's the fact they threw the like loyalty to Wakanda right back in her face. Where it's like,
right?
look what you did when Killmonger was here. It's just like, I was doing my job.
It's what like, isn't there a written rule for the Dora Milaje to listen?
I mean, no, that was like she was saying that to everybody in the room, even the elders. Where was this energy when you let Killmonger run amok?
I like that they brought that back, like the Killmonger arc and how it's still actually impacting this entire place.
It was like, where's your husband? And they were like, he a traitor. He gone. Where is he? He was like, well,
why is he not casting this movie? It's like, scheduling. He's over there. He's alive. He's just on the outskirts somewhere. He comes back when we need him to.
He's fighting a spaceship, a UFO. I don't know.
He's learning how to make the rhinos look better in CGI from the first movie.
Right.
So we all remember those rhinos. They were bad.
Yeah, so we had that. We jumped back to Shuri and Riri being with the Talokans. And we had, after that, we had the little Talokan people be like, here's some dress, here's some fruit. Riri didn't eat the fruit. It's understandable because there's that. Shuri had to go see Namor in the room. And, he's dripped out. He was like, yeah. He's like, what it is, girl? He's like, here's the bracelet of my mother on top of that. I would like you to have it. I was like, damn, Namor. He's like, you putting on the moon?
I bet he gives that bracelet to Sue. I bet that's what happens. No.
To Sue Storm?
Yeah, he's the guy that reuses the same engagement ring. No, she doesn't have it, does she?
Yeah, Shuri still has it, bro.
All right, he's going to rock back up to Shuri's front door. He's going to take it off of her and then go to see Sue.
Quick question. So, would you guys mind if Shuri and Namor would have been a couple? Out of curiosity. That's what it was feeling.
I don't know. You got a 16th century old mummy going with like a 20-something-year-old girl.
I mean, look at Thorin and Jane Foster. Come on,
that's true. Yeah.
Come on.
What?
I'd be fine with it. To be fair, I don't think it would have been.
There was a lot of chemistry there. I was like, damn.
It was, yeah.
I would have let it slide. I was like, look, I love me some Black Panther versus Namor stuff, but I was like, look, if it works with the story, it works. But as long as it makes sense. But Namor's like, he's like, I let you see another man. have to blow up Wakanda. I was like, damn.
What are you talking about? Namor has like 12 wives.
Oh God.
Yeah, but it's okay for him, not for them. Say Namor can have the harem. They can't. No.
So you had that. He talks about the backstory. We already kind of dived into his backstory on why, how his powers was made. Born 16th century. Mom takes the little plant fruit. What I did love when they said like, oh, is that they call me like Namor because he was like a child without love or something like that. I thought that line went so hard. Like my fate, no lie, when he said that, I was like, I was like, damn. I was like, even his backstory to his name sounded so cool.
Yeah, I liked it. It's my brain is so scrambled at the minute. It's a nice little fleshing out of everything. Because where does the name Namor even come from right now? So we'll give him a reason. Mm-hmm. You could have got cheesy with it, like a lot of comic book stuff does or used to do. It's like, we have to explain literally everything, but it's like, no, we're gonna give his name a little bit of depth. I liked it.
Yeah, because it makes sense for him hating on the land, because literally the first thing he saw was slavery by the Spaniards.
Yeah.
Like, oh damn. He was like, he's like, why do I have to come back? Why do I have to come to land when literally the first thing I see is slavery? Him looking at all the Thanos stuff. You think he cared? He was like, because remember when Captain America was like, it's been 5 years. The whales is back. The water is cleaner. Namor was probably happy. He was like, yes. He was like, all the humans on top is mostly gone.
Yeah, his name is a little different because originally what Namor meant was avenging son.
Yeah, but they just spelt Roman backwards, and that was the reason why it was called Namor. Is it Roman backwards? Yeah, it is. Yeah. I had to think about that after I said it for some reason.
So after that little, sorry, Tristan, what you was gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say, so that's because people probably wonder what did it originally mean? And I was like, avenging son. That's basically it. They just give it more context because it was nothing more than that. When I think they explained that in, what is it? Oh, the Fantastic Four Annual #1 by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. So yeah.
Nice.
All right. So after that little backstory we got, Namor was like, well, he's like, we're gonna have to kill the scientist because he's like, the military could use this technology to find our people. We kind of don't want that. And he says it in a very nice way, in a sexy way. It's like, look, like, because there was literally no aggressiveness coming out of his mouth when he was telling her this. It was like, look.
He's very passive aggressive. He's very passive aggressive in this movie.
And then Shuri was like, "Look, I can't kill the scientist, but I'm willing to stay. Show me your people." And I like how I think this one movie, what this movie has done great was how they utilized jokes, because it wasn't like so over the top. Like Namor was funny in this scene. He's like, "Look, I'm gonna take you down to our people, but your body's gonna get crushed. All this other stuff, blah blah blah." But then we have the suit. I was like, oh, yeah, that's what happened. I was like, that's that one suit that we saw.
Yeah, he's like,
oh, yeah, look, we stole the military.
Yeah, stole the suits. And I'm surprised sure he didn't make a comment about that. So, did you guys make this? Or?
Right? I was like, and when people saw her in the suit in my theater, like, they laughed because it's, like, so overly big. And she's so small. I thought it was a little silly.
Letitia Wright is a small person, that very emphasized by that suit. Bless her.
So after that, you had they go take the little current wave thing. Shuri and Namor goes to Talokan, and we get to see their people. The people, what is it, Talakonians? Is that their race, Talakonians?
I'm gonna say yes. I can't remember if that's the name they gave them. Or if it's like Talokians or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, because I only remember the people of Talokan.
Talaconians sound better.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool, right? Hopefully we're not wrong, but let's call them Talaconians, right? So she sees them. She was like, "Wow!" Like we're in her head. You already know. She's like, "They're not too different from us. They're actually all nice people. Everybody living happy." Literally, the first people she sees, like 2 kids. Everybody's just enjoying life. Everybody doing the hand signals to Namor. She saw that Namor built their own sun with the vibranium. I wish what I wish this scene did was showed more of the technology side regarding like the telecom.
Yeah, because you can't just drop a sun under the sea and be like, well, where's that come from and how?
No, he was like, we made this. I was like, okay, so are we gonna get close to that temple on what's in it? Like, I would like to know. Maybe show some of your war stuff. I don't know. I guess they'll probably save it for another time.
I say we'll go back there, and there'll be a
massive
stuff. It's
some of the one of the only things that they kind of showed off is their water grenades.
Oh yeah,
they were cool. I liked that. It was a cool idea.
Those are a cool idea.
Yeah, I mean, because it is because I thought those grenades would have small explosions, but they're giant explosions of water coming out.
Right.
So their technology is really advanced.
Well, you don't really need much more than that water grenade. Like, everything else is kind of pointless.
Right? Just spam it. Just make so many of those and just spam it. Anytime you go to war, just throw it. Call it a day. Call it a day. Secret Wars? I don't know how King is going to beat water grenades, bro. What if everybody just has a water grenade and just spam it? It's like, kill him now. Hurry.
Okay, who needs the Infinity Stones, right? You got water grenades. It's totally fine.
Maybe that's why they weren't involved with Endgame. They probably would have known. Like, he was like, can't Thanos swim? We've never seen him swim.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
But yeah, who knows? They'll probably save all that fancy stuff, like a sequel.
I say he'll get a Disney Plus series or a movie, and then they'll go into it. It'll be fine.
Because compared to the rest of the CGI Phase 4, it was kind of up there. They probably was like, we got to save this budget. Like, we need to stop.
Though they didn't give them bubbles underwater, which I found interesting. Like, usually when you're underwater,
really, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, there's not no underwater shot in this has a bubble coming out their mouth.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Now, whether that's a natural design choice because of the gills and everything, I don't know. But if there is, I didn't notice it, but it stood out to me when I remember sitting there watching it, being like, there's no like even when they're moving, there was no bubbles, like to show that the water's being displaced or whatever. But it's whatever. It's fine. It's totally fine.
Gotta let the VFX people breathe, man. Don't send them a letter.
True.
They were going through enough over there.
So that's where they draw the line. It's like, I am not CGI in bubbles. I'm not crunching a bubble.
Oh man. So yeah, so Shuri loves Talokan and the people. And that's when Namor goes again. He was like, look, this is our people. It's like, it's so nice, right? So we still gotta kill the scientists. He was very adamant of like, look, we gotta kill. He's like, I don't care. But this is when Shuri hit him with the look. You can't kill the scientist. I'll literally just bring her back. You have no problem with it. But I think that's when Namor was like, all right, but like still, she still gotta die. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's like, you can do that, but I'm just gonna show up anyway. And
it's like, why wait for a problem that's gonna happen in the future when I could just nip it in the butt now? I was like, maybe Namor's a little right. I don't know. It's like,
you would say that. You would. God damn.
But so after that whole scene, we have Queen Ramonda going to Haiti, which I thought was pretty cool because when it comes to using the island, we barely see any Haiti in big Hollywood movies. So I thought it was pretty.
Yeah.
Cool. So we see Haiti goes to what's Lupita's character, by the way?
Nakia.
Oh yeah, so
or Nakia. Is it Nakia or Nakia?
I think it's Nakia.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we find out Nakia was on Haiti. being a teacher. She's like a school teacher or the
Well, I
school.
mean, she's doing a bit more than that, but yeah, at the
Yeah,
current
so-
time.
And then I don't know if I should say this now, but but we could just skim through over this. I don't know if people noticed, but the kids, like literally the kid that Queen Ramonda saw was literally T'Challa's son to bring her to
It
Nakia.
was, wasn't it? God
Yeah,
damn,
when I saw it the second time, I noticed it. I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God. I was completely oblivious to that scene. And then it makes a lot more sense too when Queen Ramonda was trying to tell Shiri, like, I have something to tell you. I was like,
Yeah,
oh my
that makes
God,
it-
she
yeah.
was gonna tell him about the damn kid.
Wow.
Yeah, so all that scenes happened literally after that school scene. But yeah, she tells Nakia, like, look, we fired our best soldier, but like we kind of need you back in the front lines. Like we missed you.
Please.
Like, you know, even though you wasn't at T'Challa's funeral, kind of. I thought that whole scene was great too.
What was that? Sorry?
No, I'm saying like that whole scene when Queen Ramonda was like you wasn't at T'Challa's funeral, and Nakia was like, oh, you know, I didn't know how I was gonna blah 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 blah, and she was very adamant.
You're
like,
coming in and out for me. Like,
oh really?
yeah. Like, it just like fades out and then fades back in again.
Can you hear me good right now?
So it sounds fine now, yeah.
All right, so I was saying, they cut this part out, but I was saying like how in
Now I'm going to
Queen-
keep it in. No, it's fine.
Oh, whatever. All right, so I was saying that she was like Queen Ramonda was like, oh, you know, you didn't come to like T'Challa's funeral, and she was like, oh, you know, I still felt kind of hurt. I didn't know how to feel if I would have to come back and see everybody and blah 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 blah. Then she hit him with like, yo, save Shuri. We lost the Koye. We kind of
we quote lost the Koye. We pushed her out. And...
He was like, you know, we kind of let go of our best soldier right now. So like, we need you back in the front lines. We kind of need Shuri. We need you to save Shuri. She was like, I guess I will. And you know what? And what's funny too, because Queen Ramonda goes to the beach where Shuri is on, which she does get information by. I guess this is one of the parts that. All right, so we was talking about Ramonda. Let me see.
I'm gonna say it was
Oh wait, I remember now. This is the part I wanted to get to. So this is one of the things that I realized that I feel like could have been done really better was the U.S. military in this film, because as you can see, we barely like really talked about them, but they had a role of like finding like the beads, telling Ramonda where Shuri was at, but like it just happened so fast, where it's like,
yeah, they're kind of the villain of the movie, but there's not a.
We find
There's not
out
a
this
lot
guy
there.
was married to was it Valentina?
Yeah, old Val, Dave Fontaine. I can't remember her full name, the sentence that is her name. But...
Yeah, I don't remember. I just remember that it was like Valentina. I remember when I saw it, I was like, oh wow, I was like, she's in this movie too.
I wasn't expecting that, to be honest.
Like, it's crazy too because we also find out like she hacked the beads and all this other stuff. Like she was always there having a plan. I was like, look at you, Batman. Like you over here being a little fancy and whatnot.
That was a weird, like, when the reveal is like, oh, I already knew about everything. I'm the one who found the beads before you did, and I left them there. And I'm like, okay.
At first, I'm not gonna lie, it kind of made sense for me when she said that, because I was like, oh wow, like no wonder that one bracelet bleed was under like one metal scrap. I was like, oh, but it was like, it's so convenient, you know. I was like, oh, it's kind of. It could have been done better.
I mean, like it could have been done better, but it was just funny to me, especially with that guy. It was weird because, like, I guess you could consider them the B plot. It went nowhere. To me, it felt like it went nowhere.
Yeah.
And like they're trying to like when we finally see that at the end of it, it was just like a setup to a joke that didn't really pay off, I guess.
Yeah, because
If there's any problem I did have with that film is literally their inclusion. Like I feel like they honestly added nothing to the film. They're just there.
I'll say they are a setup, right? You know, it's like,
Yeah, they're just set up.
Riri
Yeah.
and Val's whole plot thing was like, hey, this is Thunderbolts. Hey, this is Ironheart. Like, here we go.
Like we're about to do something racist. We're about to send the Thunderbolts to Wakanda.
So we're gonna have a bunch of Russians and assassins going for the vibranium.
I know for me, it's just like the way how they did it is weird. It's like,
I think they could have.
He's like, you were a traitor. And he goes, "Oh, Wakandans would never do anything like that." And then,
but I think the guy is also sus too, right? Because the guy, there was a conversation, and I picked this up where even though he was talking about Wakanda, he was like, "Can you even imagine?" He's like, "With the U.S. military, like what the U.S. can do if we have vibranium."
He's having a conscience at this point in time before he never really did. So that's why they assumed like he was a traitor. And it's like you never really questioned authority before. Why you question it now? Is like after everything that's happened, he's grown a bit of a conscience, and I thought
he was just becoming evil. That's how I picked up that sentence.
Can't have evil Martin Freeman. What are you talking about?
Well, to me, it just sounded like he had a conscience at that point in time, which like for all that he's done for the U.S. and all that other stuff, is like, why are you doing it now?
Yeah. So we got that out the way. Regular military stuff. They're just there just to be there because characters.
Yeah.
But
it's pretty funny that the president's option is to nuke anything that opposes him.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's authentically American.
So you had so after we go back to the important stuff, Queen Ramonda's on the island, waiting for Namor to come out the water. Namor was like, what you doing here? She was like, we want our princess back. And he's like, you ain't got to get her back. Come on now. She's gonna be chilling in Talokan, be my future queen. She was like, we're gonna get her back. And Namor straight up tell her, if there's even one Wakandan ship in that water, I'm gonna kill you. And he was very straightforward. He was very, very straightforward.
He's a man of his word as well.
Yeah, he didn't lie. He literally tells you, if I see one thing from Wakanda underwater, I have
to Wakanda's defense, he didn't see the ship. He saw a sonic bullet. He saw a sonic bullet that killed his people.
Where he saw two. Once he saw those two bodies, bro. Oh man, it was done. It was done for. It's like, okay, blood for blood, not bad. So yeah, obviously, Nakia not saves, but gets Shuri and Riri out, goes to Wakanda. Namor finds the two bodies, she was like, why? They want the smoke, I'll give them the smoke. They go to Wakanda. What happens? Namor and the Talokan came for the smoke. They didn't lie. They said we're gonna attack you. Like we could whoop you all. They did not hold back.
Say Wakanda attacked first. Self-defense.
Like
totally fine.
You can't come to other people's nations and kill them out of the blue. And at first I thought Shuri was gonna kind of heal them, and it was gonna be one of those things of because when she gets shot, Shuri was like, just give me the beads, and Nakia was like, no, don't do that. Like, we don't have to do that. This whole situation could have been, a lot different. So now you have, when the Talokans attack Wakanda, I love this scene where it literally shows how OP this man is, because when M'Baku tries to attack from behind, all Namor did was flex the muscle. He broke his freaking wooden. What is it, like I wasn't gonna say spear, but it's like
It's a club, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a club. That's what it is. Yeah. Is the club made of vibranium? Can anybody confirm that? He did confirm it's vibranium, correct?
I don't think it's made of vibranium per se, because vibranium would snap like that. Because if you look back with the actual vibranium spears, it could cut, but it wasn't gonna kill any of them. So I don't think his club was made of vibranium.
All right, gotcha. But Namor flexed his muscle. Literally, he did one arm flex, broke that club, and he was it like a 1 inch punch to his chest. What he did?
Pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah.
Let me see. Looking
I
back,
know-
if I remember, M'Baku's tribe doesn't use technology much, so
Oh, yeah,
I'm
you're
more
like-
definitely that
Yeah,
it wouldn't be
yeah.
made of vibranium.
Gotcha.
Yeah, with Jabari.
Yeah,
But
because they had
they
that.
do
Because
have
they had
books.
that joke.
M'Baku did confirm they have books.
Yeah, that joke where you said, "You think we don't read?"
I like how they all looked at it. I was like, damn, they're kind of smart. But yeah, I like that scene. I literally thought M'Baku died. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people
Part of me did, yeah. You don't have a hole through your chest and walk
and
away
survive,
from it most
right?
times.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like they did have a scene where he did die in another script, but since he's such a fan favorite, because remember they did so many reshoots in this damn movie, right? And M'Baku was one of those reshoots, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and I think currently I think it was, I want to say, one of the news websites, like one of the writers did confirm that in one of the drafts, they were considering M'Baku or Nakia to be the new Black Panther instead of Shuri.
Yeah, there was
Which we
definitely
all
a lot
knew,
of
right?
changes.
There was those rumors going around for like a year that it was going to be those, and you're obviously going to consider at least one of them as opposed to just Shuri, but it's whatever. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, it's whatever. We got this now. It all works out. But yeah, we saw Namor with his wing feet action. That was gorgeous. It showed how OP those wings are, bro. He
I
attacking
was
the-
kind of confused. Like when he was flying, was he like using a running motion or a skating motion?
It looked like
It's a
looked
bit
like
of both, right? Because he's
looked like a
pushing
hot
off
skip
in the
motion.
air as well, isn't he? Like
Yeah.
he's actually kicking like a double
Yeah.
jump in the game.
Like if you looked at his feet, it was more like skipping. Like he was like bop bop bop. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then there's certain scenes where he does it like completely fast, where it is like pretty much a flying motion. But he was
So
like,
where he's going after the ships and everything in the city, like he's
he's too
he's
OP.
quick.
He was too OP. They was like, how are we gonna beat this man? He's he's soloing everybody. Like
It's
what's
simple.
happening?
You just tear a wing off, and
Even the Koye, even the guy, one of the warriors is like, come on, warrior, you want the smoke again? And the Koye is like, man, I don't want this L again. Let me save this kid. Let me go inside this ship. That was pretty funny. And yeah, and then obviously Namor goes attack the queen. And
rip.
I wasn't expecting this. A lot of people was not expecting this, but he threw that damn water bomb. He told Shuri straight up, like, you're like the queen is dead now. Like he was like mourn your losses or something like that. You're a queen.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, when he said that, I was like, so she dead?
She's okay, right? She can walk off. It's fine. It's fine.
No
it's fine.
lie, when after Queen Ramonda saves Riri Williams, right? I was like, all right, maybe she's not gonna die. But then as some of us who really loves film, when the person that is saved breathes first, 9 out of 10, the other person that did the saving will die. So I was like, oh my god. 2 funerals in one movie, bro. People was crying again. There was so much crying in this movie. I was like, bro. I was like, you're gonna kill off. I was like, T'Challa. Okay, obviously it made sense, but Ramonda too. Like, come on now.
Part of me at the time was like, this is a little too much. Like we're already dealing with one, now you're throwing at the other. But I'm fine with what they did for it because it gives Shuri the Civil War arc with T'Challa, right?
Yeah.
He lost a dad, she loses the mum, and they're both doing the whole revenge thing and not letting it consume them. Like I appreciate it.
Yeah, I like when it came to that whole arc, I like the realism too, because at the end of the day, if we're talking about like reality, like sometimes sometimes people are put in a situation where they, the God forbid something happens to their families or whatnot. Situations like this like legit happen to people where like they lose everybody and they have to they have to grow up fast because of the situations that they're in. I was like, I was like, why is this writing so good? Am I Shuri? Oh, what's happening? Like,
Though on the flip side, can we not kill any more Black Panther characters?
Yeah, no more royal. I think I'm done seeing royalty dying too. Like,
it's like
stop
T'Challa
killing
died
all
like 3 times. We've now, he lost his dad, lost the mom, and just like, what?
Lost the grandpappy. Like,
Yes,
come on,
yeah, the uncle, like the cousin. Let's just. I think people have had enough of that now.
No more.
Yeah.
I'm tired of seeing like royalty dying. Kill somebody else. Kill somebody else. Yeah, so we had this whole scene. Shuri wants to smoke like no other.
Yeah, she's mad.
She's very mad. She tells M'Baku because M'Baku says like, look, I'm kind of the king of Wakanda now because of blood. And then that's when Shuri was like, so you want to use your past of being king, huh? Like, you just wanna take the throne. Which I didn't pick that up the first time though, because he did mention like,
no,
look,
they were really subtle with him being the leader of Wakanda now. Just like
because
so people being like, what's this about? It's like, well, he's leading it.
Oh, I'm sorry, what you said, Mitch?
I would say I've just seen a lot of people question if he actually is or he isn't, and it's like, no, he is. They're real subtle about it, but he's definitely. They've now confirmed it because Winston Dukes.
Yeah, he confirmed it in the interview. He was like, he's king of Wakanda. I was like, shit. And I was like, I'm fine with that. Pretty much.
Yeah, it makes an interesting dynamic, right? You now got. Yeah. I suppose it's now gone back to when, Civil War time, like Captain America, where you have the dad on the throne and T'Challa's the Black Panther, and you now got M'Baku on the throne and Shuri's the Black Panther. Spoilers for 3 scenes later on, by the way. For a 2-week-old movie now.
Yeah, so you had she tells him that, and Shuri's like, man, it's like, all my family gone. I ain't trying to hear any of this. This is whack. She goes to the side. She's like, screw this. She goes to her lab. And then she realized, she was like, look, she tells Riri, like, look, I'm kind of gonna have to make this herb right now. I gotta kill Namor. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the Talocons, race on race crime. She makes the fruit. We had this whole scene. They were also building the suit of armor at the time. They was also making the Midnight
Angels.
Yeah, the Midnight Angel suit of armor, which I still think looks incredible.
They're ugly as hell, but I love it for it.
I mean, I think maybe because I love the movement of it. Like, it just looks so fluid on the screen. I was like, this is it's so good. They had this whole thing. Shuri was finally able to make the herb that she was trying to use to help her brother, which she couldn't at the
suck. Like, you find a way to make it. Like, oh, why couldn't I have made this like a year ago? But
it was crazy. So she finally makes the synthetic herb. Nakia was there. She was like, wow, it was like, this is fantastic. This is a great gift for T'Challa's character, because not only her making the synthetic herb is good for her to use, but that means like even down the line, other people could use it, because Killmonger wanted to be like, only one Black Panther could live.
It was potentially okay for other people to use, which they had that offhanded comment where, you're probably gonna have to resuscitate me if I go to cardiac arrest. And he's like, wait, what now?
Oh yeah, that line was pretty much funny because Riri was like, is she serious? And Nakia looked at her. I was like, well.
It's just like, maybe. I don't know. Guess we'll find out.
And then the scene that threw me off guard, because I was like, I kind of expected it. I was kind of expecting someone else. we find out that Shuri goes into the plains, and Lord and behold, this man, Killmonger was sitting on the throne with grown dreads. I didn't know you could grow dreads in the afterlife.
Well, you can do what you want when you're dead.
This part was really interesting because I was surprised, but then seeing the tones of where Shuri and her mindset where she was at the time, I wasn't surprised that she saw Killmonger because she to me it sounded like she wanted to see her brother or her father or someone else, but she saw her crazy cousin there, and it clicked, saying that she was in the same mindset that Killmonger was, is that she just wanted to burn everything and didn't really want to save anyone. She just wanted to basically get rid of the thing that was hurting her, even if it doesn't fill the hole that she has. And no matter how much she was trying to deny that she is nothing like him at that point in time, that's what her mindset was. And that's why she saw Killmonger instead of anyone else, is because she resonated with Killmonger the most in the ancestral plane at that time.
But another nice touch with that scene is the fact that it, in the stark contrast to T'Challa's scene in that place, his was all like the plains and hers is the city and the technology. That's very, it is but like what you make of it. In like,
it's basically her vision of the astral plane, like what you said with T'Challa, which was he saw the wilds. Well, she was in the city, but if you looked out, you saw the wilds of the astral
you had
plane.
like the whole like blue and purple sky and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was a nice little detail.
Like, she was always always making stuff in the city and didn't really venture out past that. So that's
because remember, a lot of the stuff that's in the film, like in the dialogue, where they keep on confirming, like she didn't believe any of this. Like she was so hard on scientific. She was like when her mom was telling her, like, "Oh, I could feel your brother." Like, man, you don't feel nothing. That's just the wind. I was like, damn. Like, it's also like when Killmonger was like, "You didn't even think this was even real," and she was like, "Maybe I didn't, but I don't care. I'm here now." But that interaction.
The interaction was good. It was just that it was funny because like she did say she didn't believe it. Even, and then when it was turned out to be true, that then she began to get really bitter about the whole entire thing, because she didn't want to see Killmonger. She wanted to see someone else, and then to have Killmonger tell her that you're just like me, do what you need to do. That's
I thought it was a really nice touch to to progress that scene forward throughout like the whole final act of this film. I was like, damn. I was like, this is good, because what I was expecting, even like a lot of other people, well, not a lot of other people, but people I talked to, like they were kind of expecting like Chadwick Boseman there, or like not actually like seeing him, not actually like how can I say this? Like not
you're expecting to see him in Panther form?
Huh?
I said you're gonna expect to see him in Panther form.
It was one of those things where I didn't expect Shuri to actually do like the full circle around like the throne, if that makes sense. Like I didn't want
you just hear like his voice coming from the back of it.
Yeah,
like the really cheesy. Yeah, no, that was
like maybe like the back of his head. I don't know. Like I didn't expect him to actually like see.
For me, I thought personally, I thought it was gonna be the T'Chaka. It was gonna show up.
Oh, see, I was expecting Ramon, the mother. I thought it was going to go
technically she did. It's just
later on.
Instance. Yeah.
I was kind of confused with that, because with the whole mom thing, I thought the only way you can have the ancestral plane if you take the Black Panther like the flower. So how would that work?
Technically that's not what they believe in, is that that when you die it's not the end, and that there is an afterlife for everyone.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, it's a bit like Moon Knight with
whatever your beliefs in.
Afterlives.
Oh,
There's no one afterlife there.
In the Marvel, in the comics in the Marvel universe, there's different afterlives for what you believe in. So if you believe in ancestral plane, you'll go there. If you,
I can't lie, I thought you were going to say, what's that thing that Tom Cruise is part of?
Scientology.
Scientology. Yeah, my brain went. He's saying Scientology.
Yeah, she believes like Christianity afterlife. She'll go there if you're. I don't know if it's still part of it, but if you follow like the Greek gods, you'll go to that afterlife and so on.
Gotcha. All right. Then so after that whole scene, after the scene with Killmonger and Shuri gets up from her coma, and she was like, "This didn't even work." It was like the scene. I'm not gonna lie, the scene was kind of sad too, because you see her like everybody has left her. No one came to talk to her. I was like, damn. I was like, Letitia Wright, you're kind of really good in this movie. What's happening?
I mean, she got the better deal out of it than to T'Challa, because he basically just told his ancestors, "Y'all suck."
You're right. She was like, my mom didn't came, my brother didn't came, the 5 Panthers that was on the tree didn't came. Like, what's happening? Like it was a pretty it was a really great scene until you find out she punches one of the dummies and you were like, oh wait, she has the powers. Wow.
Yeah, that dummy got abused. That poor thing.
Hey, how many times does dummy gonna get punched, bro?
I mean, they
Like
shouldn't be
second
dummies,
time.
should they? That's their own fault.
They didn't think she was that strong with from how small she was, and they kind of got scared. But it was funny how Riri says, "Can I have some?"
Good thing she didn't punch Nakia, right?
Yeah.
But what I did like about this scene, which played out throughout, and that's how you know this is a setup for what's to come. Because no matter what, anytime they kept on saying who did she saw in the astral plane, she never tells anybody it was Killmonger. Not one time.
Well, yeah, she
Yes,
doesn't.
no.
They
In
have like
every
a
scene they asked her, Nakia asked her like 2 or 3 times. Shuri just shrugs it off. And I believe if I remember correctly,
But doesn't she say she saw no one or
no,
something?
Yeah.
she ignores it.
She
shrugs it off.
No, she shrugs it off, but
No, I watched it 2 times. She shrugs it off. She don't.
Oh,
She just looks her dead in her eyes and like.
I know she never says that she saw Killmonger in there.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
remember
She doesn't
that.
say it. She just said that the family, like her family, wasn't there. Like who she expected wasn't
I
there.
guess the implication is that Nakia doesn't believe that she didn't see anyone. She saw someone, but it wasn't any of her family members.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying like in the scene, like Shuri. That's why I feel like it's gonna play a role later on again.
Yeah,
because the fact that you don't mention it was Killmonger, and then if you remember,
technically it is right. She did see a family member, not the one she wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to say that since she completely ignored like mentioning that she saw Killmonger in the astral plane, because I think this was in a Ta-Nehisi Coates run where Killmonger just came back into the dead body. I was like,
those runs are completely weird. Where there's an Earth version Killmonger, and then there's a space version Killmonger that takes over that Killmonger.
Oh god.
yeah. So I feel like
weird.
that's gonna play a role, like again, where Killmonger does take up a body. I don't know. That's just a theory. It kind of, in my head, it kind of makes sense. But I guess we'll see down the line if they do.
Well, I mean, it also, I think it also played a part in like what is it, the Kingdom of the Dead, because of what it is.
Yeah.
Of what the Black Panther can do at full power and stuff like that. But yeah, that the Coach run. I don't know where he was going with that.
Yeah. So there's that. Shuri gets her armor. She goes to.
Can we talk about that suit quick? Because that thing is ugly as hell.
Which one? Shuri's armor?
Yeah.
I mean, they said that they're trying
say anything.
They're trying to pay homage to the original T'Challa's original suit. So I guess that's what they came up with.
It's just so ugly.
My only problem with that suit, it's like in certain scenes the helmet is so big, and then like it shrinks. I was like, her body frame doesn't match that helmet. It just puts me off. I wouldn't mind the CGI helmet. Make it.
I didn't notice that, so I can't really talk on it. But I just can't stand the design philosophy on it. You got bits pointing up, but bits pointing down.
Yeah,
and they're in the same bit. There's no through line and anything. You got these random
the
triangles
gold?
everywhere. the gold, I can take it. Like, I'm not a gold fan. I don't like.
The gold thing I thought was like what everybody else was saying. They were like, oh, it was
It's a
like
Killmonger reference, right?
yeah, it was like Killmonger
Yeah.
mixed with T'Challa reference. Like, she wants everything.
I get like that. Like, I like that idea. It's just the way there's no comfortable like eye line in it. Like, you make a suit. You don't have an arrow pointing down the arm and then pointing up the arm. That just doesn't give you a nice line on it. And here you have that. And it like, ugh. You know when people get like freaked out by like, those holes and they're not in a pattern, right? That's me with the suit.
Damn.
It just creeps me out. It's weird.
Tristan, what you got to say about this suit?
I mean, I didn't like it. Like it said, in the previews, I don't know if it was because of my screen when I saw it or not, but the gold looked like it was like an emerald color for some reason.
Really?
That's what
your screen's wild.
Yeah, it was just for me. That's what put it off even more. But I just did not like that type of suit. And I was surprised that they didn't go with like I think they almost her original design for a Black Panther suit where they had the
cape
fur
and stuff.
Yeah, the fur cape collar. So I was like, well, okay. I guess they are going with the Killmonger suit. So I didn't like the Killmonger suit, but I guess that's how they're gonna envision her version, where she's still bitter and wants to lash out at everyone, but she's still trying to be like her brother. So I was like, oh, yeah, that's what you want to do. Go ahead. But I would have preferred it to be her original design, or a version of her original design from when she was the Black Panther.
I mean, the fur would have been nice. I think you fall into a bit of a stereotype. So, the woman has a fur collar. Like,
I mean, when M'Baku has one, it's
yeah, but you can't exactly really do M'Baku like how the comics. No, it's a slight difference that way. But it's just something to grab onto, right? It's why you don't really get ponytails. Like you get yanked from behind and all that. It's not. It's like a cape. It's not.
Yeah, man, she can have a breakaway. Just have it for show.
Just have Velcro, like vibranium Velcro. There you go.
Yeah, they'll probably save it for the future films. Honestly,
I say with how they're going with the costume design and stuff, you'll have some reference to it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like Thor's helmet is a ceremonial thing, not like an actual in the middle of a battle thing, but we'll find out.
Yeah, so going back, we had Shuri, Z, and M'Baku, and the rest of the people. They're like, we're going to war. We got to beat up the Talokans. They cause too much trouble. And she tells everybody to leave because she was like, look, I'm going to have to kill Namor. And then M'Baku, the voice of reason in this movie, he was like, we don't have to kill him. And then Shuri's like, so what about my mommy, huh? What about our people? And then M'Baku was like, look, you killed Namor. That's their god. He's like, it's different. He's like, we're about to be in war forever.
They will never forget that.
Like, we could be old and dead, but they're going to go to war forever. And Shuri's like, not my problem. I don't care. I was like, wow.
I killed him too.
Look, I thought that scene was really good because it really shows it really shows how smart M'Baku is, because he really thinking like royalty. Like, this is what he's gonna be doing going forward. Like, he's the voice of reason. It's like, we're not trying to go into war with Namor. Like, this is not smart whatsoever. Like, it was a really, really well done scene. But I like how Shuri.
It's like an evolution because of how since the first one people thought M'Baku was just a dude bro hanging out in the trees, and then to this one where he's I'm not stupid. Is I know the consequences of actions, and it's like, do you really want to do this?
Yeah, and then I like how Shuri basically like put him in his place. They're like, look, so you're gonna help me kill Namor, and that's that. And he was like, damn. I was like, that was it. He was like, you're gonna help me kill him. That's it. Nothing else. No ifs, ands, or buts. So I thought that it was a really good scene. And then obviously we jump into the full-on war, right? Where they use the technology again from the beginning of the movie to like bring out the Talocans out of the water, and the Wakandas just jumped them. That was it. They jumped them. They was like, we getting everybody out of this water. We're gonna try to kill some of the Talocans. Shuri was like, Wakanda forever. She still has the little was it like pulse guns, pulse rays coming out of her hands. That was a little nice touch. We had the Dora Milaje jump in to attack. Namor, of course, as always, putting in the smoke. Namora when attacked the boat, she do the little water bombs and whatever, so she wasted no time whatsoever. Speaking of Namora, I feel like this is a little side note. Namora's hot. That was it. All right. There's something about that aggressiveness. I was like,
wow,
damn.
what a cold take that was. God damn.
I was like, I like the aggressiveness of her. I don't know. I was like, damn, she was like kind of hot. I don't know. Put me in the family. Well, that's not the point. She blew up the boat.
It's a very big boat. That was a hell of a big boat. Where did that boat even come from?
How many soldiers was on that boat? Were they inside the boat as well? We didn't see what was inside.
God knows.
Was all of Wakanda in that boat? We don't know. Like, even if they defeated the Talocans, right? There's so many Talocans that lives underwater. I don't know how they would have won that battle. I'm not gonna lie. Even Namor, I remember in the beginning of the film, Namor was like, I have so many people that this plane has grass. I was like, oh my God, that's a lot. Like, I was trying to count the grass in that land. I was like,
pause the movie. I need to count grass.
Yeah, he was essentially saying he has the same amount of people that have the same amount of, I guess destructive power than all Wakanda has. It's like it'd be a different story if there's more countries that had the same power as Wakanda. It'd be a different story. But if it's just Wakanda, small nation versus however many people, the more controls underwater, you can't compare that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was talking about regarding.
And the funny thing about that is what the ship is like. Their defense is an ultrasonic attack, and all it took was one person with some water bombs and destabilize the ship.
So it just
all you
proves the
need is a
point. Water
water
bombs
bomb.
are broken.
That's all you need.
That's literally
Marvel, please nerf. No.
Nerf the water bombs. Please patch it up. Patch it. There's only so much we can see. Is Ant-Man going to use water bombs? Who knows? But it's a little too broken.
No, I mean, if Ant-Man had that, it would even be more busted because he can shrink them even smaller.
Oh my God! Oh my God! See, Tristan's already planning the whole film out. That's it. I don't know how they're gonna win in Secret Wars. King is done.
So he's gonna wash out King from his kingdom with some water bombs.
That's all you need. But yeah, and the whole thing was to make Namor. They were trying to nerf Namor because he was too broken. They had to dry him up in the ship, and that's exactly what they did. They was able to like capture Namor because what was it? Riri Williams. That was her introduction of the armor, and she used like the pulse rays, or like she shot him.
Yeah, I think it was like because of they found out that part of his mutation is that he's able to get the oxygen through his wet. Yeah, for both, and primarily through his wet skin. Mm-hmm. Yeah, unlike his people, and then all they do is, we're gonna have a fish fry, and then he'll be extremely weak, and then we can just start beating the crap out of him.
Mm-hmm. What we're gonna do is we're gonna SpongeBob him. We're gonna let him out, dry him out, and he can't do crap. Right,
and then what else? That's when we saw That's when we saw the introduction of Ironheart and her armor. We saw, was it the Midnight Angels?
Midnight Angels, yeah.
Yeah, we saw Okoye in that armor. They fought again. She whooped them. Of course, I mean, she took like 1 L, afraid the second time, and she sucked. Had to power up. Couldn't be me. How to use this broken armor? How dare you? But yeah, that scene was cool with them when they were going into the water, like attacking. Yeah, Shuri captures. They go to the island because that's the only place they could go to because Namor was like, "You're not gonna fry me. I'm too good for this. You got to put me in the future movies. Started attacking like the ship. It blows up. She crashes, and yeah, they have a one-on-one battle, which I didn't really. The fight was all right. That's the scene that had like a lot of slow motion.
Yeah,
No, the one that's got a lot of slow motion, but they're fighting on the side of the boat. Like that boat is 90% slow mo.
Oh, really? I didn't think I realized.
It's like with the fight with Namor and Shuri, it was all right. Like the only good part about it is when Namor thought he had the upper hand, and she's all no gotcha, where she positioned herself right in the line of fire of the thrusters, and so Wakanda forever and just cooked them.
Oh yeah, see, I was about to get to that because I was going to talk about how because what I loved about the fight scene, because no matter it just showed how OP like Namor was, because even with the Black Panther like powers, Namor was putting in the smoke. He was doing the combos by the rock. He was like
yeah. Yeah, it's like,
so cool.
Like even with the Black Panther power, she wasn't really doing much damage until she dried him out, and then that's when she was actually able to damage him.
Yeah, and then when they cut the wings off his feet, I know that hurt me.
Yeah, you could feel that one, just like ooh.
I made it think like it almost probably felt like an Achilles tendon to him, so he probably was limping.
Like I was like, damn. It was like it reminded me of that one scene from X-Men 3. Remember when that little kid was just cutting off his wings in the bathroom?
Oh,
I was
God,
like,
yeah.
oh. That's what it kind of reminded me. I was like, that's so much pain. I was like, does he like cut off his wings to like regrow them? I'm like, I'm curious how
that's basically what it amounted to, is that he would cut off his wings to make him be nubs, so they wouldn't penetrate through his outfit, and they would I guess he would do this every so often because his wings would regrow.
Yeah, might as well just put vibranium armor on those wings, because after that he has to have learned his lesson.
I was surprised, like I guess trying to cauterize them was a step too far for him. He'd rather cut himself constantly over the course of a couple months or a year or two, because like if you cauterize them, they ain't growing back. But yeah, that's just what it was. That's like at that fight. That's like the only part that I kind of liked, where like she to finish him off, she used the thrusters, and like and it was to me it was funny because like I guess it was her final gambit, because she didn't even she kind of like either they both die or he dies.
I'd say she's already been fucking skewered. No,
that's what I was gonna mention. Like when Namor stabbed her, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was over for her. I was like, damn. I was like,
not another one.
Yeah, it was like
just
at that
wiping
point,
out everyone.
She wasn't going to survive, but like she's like almost on a guarantee. It's like either they both fry or he fries at that point, because like she resigned herself to getting burnt along with them.
Yeah, it was crazy because go back to the skewering thing. In my head, the moment she got stabbed, because the music turned off, there was no more sound after that, after she got stabbed.
Yeah.
So when she got stabbed, in my head, I immediately went like, so this is probably one of the reshoots, right? Like, they're gonna kill her off? Is like, we're gonna get another Black Panther? That's gonna be kind of wild. I was like, so who's gonna be the hero now? It was like, is Nakia gonna take up the suit of armor? Is M'Baku? But no, she was OP as hell. And like, look, I'm gonna get out of this. It kind of felt like if you guys played obviously like The Last of Us 2, it felt like an Ellie moment.
I haven't actually played that game yet. So. I haven't played that game yet.
Oh, because basically that whole moral of the story of the sequel is like revenge is like powerful as hell. Like it's just a revenge story. So Shuri was just so OP on revenge, where she was like, man, screw this.
Yeah, it's just as you could say, like in most stories about revenge, it's just a cycle that continues until someone decides that they don't want to continue
take that
anymore. Yeah.
And then we go back to the shooting of the explosion to catch Namor off guard. I kind of did like. I'm not gonna lie, when Namor said Imperious Rex in Mayan, I Ooh, I got a little wet. I'm not gonna lie. I think I was the only one that gasped in my theater because I was like, when is this man gonna say this word? But he said it in Mayan. I was like, my friend like next to me, he was like, oh, what does that mean? I was like, oh no, it just means he wants to smoke. That was it. It was nothing else. I just thought
isn't it some kind of like sea monster or something?
Huh?
Isn't it like a bit like an Aquaman situation where like it's actually a creature?
No, yeah, it's a creature. But like even in the comics, like they even asked him the question, "What does it mean?" He's like, "Man, it means going to war." Like he always comes up with like a reason what Imperious Rex means. So even I think there was even a comic where he was like, "Man, it means nothing." He was like, it just means I'm just ready. I'm just ready for war. That's it." I was like, "Oh, badass." But obviously, again, caught him off guard. He became fish stick. Shiri was about to, end him right there. And then her mama was like, "Be better. What the hell are you doing?" She was like, "Oh, Mom, is that you?" Did you guys like? I thought it was a pretty powerful scene because even Namor, this almost made me sad too because even Namor, when she was asking like, when Shuri was telling Namor to yield and like like we can accept your people, like we could be into this together. Like she was showing like mercy, like obviously like revenge ain't like the greatest outcome because no one wins in this war. And I like how Namor like saw his mom on the other side, like just accept it. I was like, that scene was so good.
Mm.
And then you just see both of them on top of the boat. I mean, on top of the ship, saying like, "Yo, even though the Wakandans and the Talakans were dying, our fight we didn't die, so the war is over." I was like, "Wow, this is cool." I thought that was kind of funny. It's like imagine just going into war. People just die, but the two royalties, it's like, war is over. Everybody be friends now. Just call it off.
I found that bit a little, not rushed, but part of me just wants. I don't like the friendliness.
Them standing on top of the ship.
Yeah, it's like no, you're supposed to have this more tension, like you know.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see the whole Wakanda Talakan fight from the comics and everything, but
the constant like they breathe in one direction. It's like, what did you say?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We got a little bit of it in here, like he does flood the place, but at the same time, it's like no, do it properly. Like actually, like go to war, do something.
Yeah, I actually feel like I have this theory regarding this too, but I'll save that when because we're almost done with this. So yeah, the war is finally over. They basically accepted each other. Riri gets her car back. Shuri was like, "Look, I'm gonna have to take this suit of armor because you're gonna have a sleeker CGI more version for your series, a cheaper budget kind of armor,
But it might not be cheaper with Chapek out. No.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot. You're right.
Topical.
Oh yeah. We got Papa Iger back, so we definitely gonna have something else. Yeah. So Riri goes back. There was a scene with Namor and Namora. Namora was like, "So why we accepting the Wakandans? Like, they kind of started stuff." And Namor was like, "Look," and I was like, she gave me mercy. He's like, "Now think about it like this." And this is what I loved about this scene. I feel like a lot of people just thought like he's just being an overall good guy. He's like, "Look, we're like when something happens to Wakanda, we could come right in,
Yeah.
And it's like, oh. If they need somebody, and I feel like there's gonna be one of those things where Namor is just gonna overdo it and kill people, and obviously it's gonna be just a huge on fallout because you're not gonna not have Namor have a peace treaty. I did my air quotes on my end, peace treaty, because there's no such thing with Namor and peace treaty because he always wants to smoke.
Yeah, he wants to control is what he wants.
Yeah, like if it doesn't work for his people, he does not care. He'll join the villain. He'll join the heroes. He'll do it himself. As long as the Talakans are good, he don't care. But yeah, there's that. Then we had Shuri. Shuri goes to... Wait, was there anything else important that in between? Oh, wait, yeah, they saved the damn soldier, right? They saved the white guy. What's his name?
That was
Everett Ross.
that's the regrettable B plot ending where it didn't really matter. I was like, why is he here? Because it was basically he didn't rat out the Wakandans, so in turn they rescued him from being sent to prison for being a traitor.
Yeah, like that was pretty much it, right? Like
So
Okoye.
he's there for Thunderbolts. That's
Pretty
why
much.
Everett Ross is
That's
there.
one of the big reasons you would have like the Thunderbolts or whatever go to Wakanda. Anyway.
he's the Wakandan's informant on the U.S. side.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting it's going to be a very interesting turnout regarding that, because obviously you're not gonna have him be in Wakanda and not have any consequences, because then you have a whole fugitive in Wakanda. You're gonna have like the Thunderbolts or whatever they're gonna do is gonna involve the Wakandas and Talokans once again, and
Which is going to be interesting, right? Because you got Bucky on the Thunderbolts.
yeah, like do you take away his black card? Like what's happening? Like do you take away his arm?
I mean, they showed that they can take away his arm
that.
whenever they want.
Yeah, like I guess that's the only thing that would make sense about Bucky being on this team, right? On the Thunderbolts, because now it makes a lot more sense. Like, why would you have Bucky join this group after being in the family cookout? Like he was just chilling.
So there's got to be some reason he's there, but
Yeah,
we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, we'll find out. It's gonna be very interesting on how they play this. Like they play this out, but Thunderbolts is gonna be a whole film itself too. Because in my head I thought it was a series, but no, it's a film. I forgot.
It was rumored to be a series, I think, but
yeah, that's what it was. It was rumored, but then it was going for a film. But I guess time will tell. Then we have Shuri. Shuri goes to Haiti. She finally goes to Haiti. She meets Nakia. She finally burns the robes that she kind of like not did earlier in the film because she didn't want to mourn, because she was like, this is whatever. But then she does burn the robes, and another sad scene where tears was just coming out, where everybody was quiet and all you hear was that's all you heard. Where you just see a bunch of scenes of just Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, that was
like how many times this film had to hurt me. I was like, Jesus Christ. Like I didn't cry, but like my eyes was hurting so bad because I was like, so misty. What's happening? Like it was
that sounds like you're crying. It's okay.
No, the tears didn't fall down because I wiped my
you can cry without it falling down.
Chill. Unless there's cameras, no one's gonna find me crying.
Well, there's cameras everywhere, so someone's found you crying.
Not in movie theaters over here.
Your phone's in your pocket, in it.
Oh, you're right.
There's a camera right there.
Oh man, but yeah, they did that. And yeah, cuts to credits. You hear Rihanna's, "Lift Me Up," or it made people cry even more because. And then it cuts to credits. There's that, and then you have the mid-credit scene where
the only credit scene.
Yeah, the mid-credit scene, the only credit scene where Nikhil was like, "So, here's my son," and everybody gasped because everybody knew what was happening. She got my son. She was like, "This is my son." And it was like, I forgot his like.
I can't remember his like non-Wakandan name.
Yeah, I forgot. Was it like it started with a T? I could be wrong.
It was something, and it was like, but my Wakandan name is T'Challa, Prince T'Challa.
The way he said it, I was like,
T'Challa
damn.
the second.
Yeah, it was interesting too because that was the thing that. Again, what the mom was trying to tell her before she took the L by the water bombs. No one told her to take the L, swim better. I don't know, but but yeah, like it's crazy too because you look at that little kid. It's like, bro, did they clone Chadwick Boseman for this scene? They look like Chadwick Boseman. I was like, Jesus.
It's that's the only part that I didn't like about this whole.
No lie, Tristan. When I saw this scene, when I saw the
thought
scene, I
Tristan,
thought
I was
of
like,
you
no.
because you literally said this.
Yeah.
You was like, "Oh, watch them say like T'Challa Jr." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Well," I was like, "Tristan is gonna be so mad."
Yeah,
I was
it's like
cracking up.
I didn't like it. I heard people was like, "Did y'all have a kid?" And I'm like, not in, like the main continuity. No, he's had a daughter and like one son, but that was in an animated TV special, I think. Other than
But wasn't
that,
there the next Avengers? Or
yeah, it's
something?
Avengers.
Yeah, the
Next or
next
something
Avengers
like
had
that
it,
was like
yeah.
the only
Yeah.
reality he had a son, but he wasn't even called the T'Challa the second. It's like I
At
commend them
this
for
rate,
what they're trying to do,
Tristan,
but
this whole
yeah.
like comic accurate thing is thrown out the water with Wakanda forever.
well, for a really like unfortunate thing. But that whole thing, I was like, I know what they're trying to do, but I was all,
Yeah.
they didn't need to put that there.
I say
Well,
I'm.
I love this scene. I thought it was great.
I say the scene itself is really nice. I'm. And initially, I was with Tristan, right? Like, I didn't want it's so cheesy. It's like, oh
Mhm.
look, give it 15 years, he'll be back. Like, you'll have to charter.
Because that's what that's because no,
I
because
ain't
like
waiting
that's
15 years. What the
yeah,
fuck?
because
Because then you
that's
have
what it was.
Secret
That's-
Wars. Obviously,
no,
they're gonna
that's 'cause
bring him back.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
it's like Secret
yeah.
Wars is all
Not
that
age
new
him up.
T'Challa. He's like he looked just like him. I was like, no, please don't do that.
Yeah, they're gonna do it, and it's unfortunate. I get they might not necessarily be coming at it from that angle, but it was like, hey, look, that legacy is always gonna be here.
Because like
that's the
like,
point that I think of the kid, but at the
'cause
same time, it's
for-
like I know what you're gonna do with him.
Because like for me, it's like, oh, well, we made a new T'Challa because we can't have Shuri in all the T'Challa stories because it wouldn't really make sense in some certain instances. So we'll have his son who's still T'Challa because his name was T'Challa. He'll act like him a bit. We'll have
But I guess we'll have to see in the future because that's like so down in the line of like what. Like when we're gonna see like Wakanda again and all the aftermath of all of this.
But
It's gonna be very
that?
interesting.
How old is that kid right now? Do you reckon?
If we had to
probably
say, he's like in elementary school.
yeah,
if we
he's
had to
probably
be
like
honest.
he's probably like what, like maybe like 9 to 12 maybe.
Yeah, like he definitely like looked very young. Like they all look like elementary school kids in that movie.
Yeah.
So you've
Yeah.
got maybe like 10 years in universe time to get him up to scratch, but
Yeah, I guess again, time will tell when how they go about it.
I mean they're gonna do it in Secret Wars, like
Yeah, of course.
it's
It's gonna be interesting. Like after Secret Wars, do you think like it could be one of those situations where we see him like as an adult, but we don't see like him actually transferring over or whatever. It's probably gonna see like
they're gonna
Dragon
Dragon Ball Z it with Trunks, right? You're gonna have the older version come in, and then you go back to the kid, and you do it that way.
Oh yeah, they could do that. Or like the potentials of what he could see, what he could become as a leader, stuff like that.
You just dangle the T'Challa back in front of everyone and cause another online conversation.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting how they do that in the future. Because again, there's like so many things happening in Marvel. By the time all that happens, we'll probably be in our 60s, right? So whatever.
No, I'm not. I don't want to be that old.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the whole film.
Yeah. I have it.
Any final thoughts?
As my top of Phase 4. This is my favorite Phase 4 thing, without question.
What about you, Tristan? How you felt?
I mean, it's good. I liked it. So there's like certain nitpicks, especially about the mid credit scene and some background with some offhand background with Shuri, but it was pretty good though. So I liked it, except for those things that that they could have either done without or changed it up a little bit more.
That's fair enough.
Me,
I think given like the circumstances of everything, like you couldn't have got like this movie had no right to exist. This shouldn't have been the movie. Like
because if you think about it, let's say because remember the original script was the whole like mourning thing. It could have been the exact same thing of because so much things happen with T'Challa's character, right, where he's gone. So it would have been like a time skip. So he'll come back and he'll have a kid he'd be like, damn, it's like I was like, I have a son. I was like, I got no throne. Like the outcome would have been so much different. It's crazy. But you know, I guess if Ryan Coogler ever wanted to release that script or whatever, whenever that
Part
time
of me wants him to, but the other part of me is like, no, we're never gonna get it because we can't.
Yeah, because people would compare it too, right? So it's gonna be like,
Exactly,
oh
yeah.
yeah.
No, I mean, technically you could, but it would only be an animated form.
Yeah, I suppose you could do it that way. Yeah. But I think just keep it like. Yeah, I wouldn't put that out if it was me personally.
Yeah,
I did like the out of everything, the copium that that The Rock and his fans have about Wakanda Forever versus Black Adam, where
I mean, don't make fun of the underdog, Tristan.
what? He's not an underdog. So it's a top.
he's
What
gonna
do you mean
find
the
this
underdog?
podcast, bro. He's gonna be like, wow. He's like, I see you talking. I see you talking about Black Adam. He's gonna skip all the way to the end just to be like, oh, so Black Adam, huh?
I'm just saying, it's like this weird notion that that it's Wakanda Forever either is too good to fail or is failing because it's failing to meet higher expectations to like from I guess it was their the overall cost of the film is not to the box office gross is not meeting expectations, so it's quote unquote a failure. But when you look at it, it's not a failure because, for all intents and purposes, sometimes the sequel to an established or the first movie is a little bit less, and then it grows again for the quote unquote last movie.
Yeah, so that's always the pattern, right? You look at most on average sequels, they make less than the first, and then the threequel comes in and it's just like, haha, I made more. It's always the way. Empire Strikes Back did it. Godfather 2 did it. It all happens.
Yeah, and how can I say? I obviously I love the film. I thought it was pretty. It was pretty like really well told, especially that the hand that was given. Definitely one of the strongest written films so far from the MCU.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, so again, literally my only nitpick regarding it was the U.S. military, because again, we talked about this whole review, and they really are afterthought and add nothing other than to like, yeah, Thunderbolts, weird thing, but. Yeah, I feel like maybe it was one of those things where it was just forced in, like, make sure you put this in the movie. Other than that, I really have nothing else to say about it other than like it was just great.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to think of the phrase it. As an MCU movie, it adds a lot. Right, you got the Talokan stuff with Namor and everything else, and it pushes everything forward. As a tribute for Boseman, I think it's fantastic.
Oh yeah, this whole movie,
right.
this whole movie tributing Chadwick was definitely done really well, because even without saying his name, you already knew like they're talking about him. It blurred the lines of fiction and reality. It's done really well. It's also one of those things where people who did complain and not seen the movie, I was like, it doesn't really honor his legacy. I'm like, come on, you're telling me Ryan Coogler is like literally one of Chadwick Boseman's best friends. You're telling me he's not gonna go to his wife or whoever about like certain things?
Like, can you even just like Marvel as a whole, right? They were not gonna leave the family out of it.
Yeah,
do you imagine the story that would have come out from that?
It's
one thing for like a comic creator saying they've got no money or anything, but like to have the family come out and be like, oh, they never spoke to us. Like you don't want that PR nightmare.
Oh yeah, that would have been terrible. But yeah, great film, and I think that's pretty much it, right? No other theories. Is that it? Oh wait, hold on. before we cut this off, right? Wasn't Boss supposed to be in this movie?
Who?
The
Bass.
god, the Black Panther god.
Oh, I didn't
She
hear
was
anything
supposed
about
to be in
I-
this film, if I remember
I did-
correctly.
It might have
They
been in the
casted her
original
for this
version.
film.
No. Might have been in the original.
Yeah, but fortunately and unfortunately, her first appearance is in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if I remember, because I remember correctly, because there was like, they casted her for this film, and then we saw her, like I saw her again in Thor: Love and Thunder, but I guess that was probably all in the original script. So maybe you'll probably see her again in the future. That'll be pretty cool.
We will. We'll see her again at some point.
It's the only way Killmonger is gonna come back to life. Am I right? Everybody loves Killmonger. The Malcolm X
apparently
of,
they do.
of the Black Panther universe, apparently. So,
I mean, people wanted Killmonger to be the new Black Panther, so
yeah, that redemption arc. Am I right? You know, couldn't even redeem him in the
I
what?
mean, they could have, because they could have kept him in stasis, and then he wakes up. And so, I thought I told y'all to kill me.
I mean, true, there is that. But then why would he be Black Panther, like?
That's a redemption arc, man.
But he'd wake up mad and be like, I ain't helping these people. They didn't let me die.
Hey, it's the fish people. I'm down.
And he teams up with Namor. Him like, man, Wakanda trash. Let's make our own, make our own nation.
He becomes Black Tuna or whatever.
Right? Wakala Khan. Like he'll find a way to like mix the two nations.
I mean, I'd watch it.
Yeah.
What if season 3 Marvel do it, please?
All right. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. This was our spoiler review for Wakanda Forever, and we are officially signing off.
It's only 2 weeks late. We apologize.
Things happen, man. Things happen.
Life has got in the way, unfortunately. But...
That means no excuse that everybody could watch this without worrying about spoilers.
Yeah, everyone's already seen it at this point. You know, it's made 300 million or whatever. It's stumping through.
Yeah. Well, take care, everyone.